Hi Collective, welcome to my channel Crystal Shadow Work. Hi everyone, so this is going to be another Akashic Tarot reading that I'm doing for whoever finds it. As I felt there was a lot of messages that came across last night and I wanted to get into another reading. So take from them whatever you feel guided. If you feel guided to checking out any of my other readings, you can definitely take a look as they're all timeless and connecting with the energies surrounding me at this time, which is still very much this energy of this 11/11 gateway portal here in November, as major changes are coming off of this lunar eclipse that we had. A lot of closing out of cycles and new beginnings and opportunities are coming, right? So I've been seeing a lot of forces cards this morning. Just seeing the Ace of Forces, I've seen the King and the Queen. Interesting. Kind of just seeing what's coming out here. And then I felt to record this, it's going to be for somebody. Alright. Let's see here. What we got here? The Light of the World. They were showing me this cartoon, number 10. The Architect. You guys are going to be building and creating something. Reflection. Already two major arcanas. The Ascend. 7 of Keys. You guys are definitely raising your vibration and ascending to a higher form. A shift's definitely happening. 6 of Forces. We've got 2 of Keys, a lot of keys here. Queen of Keys. There's 4 of Forces. We got some extras here. Another key, 3 of Keys. Look at that chess move. You may be needing to plan things strategically or needing to strategize at this time. We had this come out last night in the reading, so you might feel called to that reading. The winged messages. Something's being revealed here. And the Queen of Scrolls. Somebody is definitely in their energy of being very grounded, stable, abundant, knowing what they want, or just that they're wanting change. So they're in this process of planning, strategizing. Somebody is definitely reflecting back on situations, kind of lessons learned, moving forward here. We've got the Queen of Keys too, so strong feminine energy. You could definitely be dealing with a divine feminine, maybe an empress here, because in the Akashic Tarot, things are mastered, right? A lot of these talk about life lessons and things that you've already been through here. So the Architect is the very first card of the Keys. You could find yourself involved in something to do with your home, your job. You could be building something, renovating, building a project, redecorating your home or workplace. It's definitely a time that you're stepping into a position of power, and you must recognize your talents and your skills that you have available to you. They want you to look at the adjacent cards where the Architect points and show you some specifics about your plans. It can also alert you to unseen events or people that influence that are not yet known to you. So they're pointing to the Reflection card, which is right next to it here. You might be finding the truth out about somebody that you weren't seeing before here, because I was talking about truths being revealed. You know, and I was talking a lot about with this eclipse energy that a lot of times things happen where you need to release and close out cycles and trust the process, because a lot of these things are eclipsed out due to cosmic forces out of your control. And it's because divine source spirit, they see everything. They see a lot of what's going on for you. And you guys might not have seen something. This card can reveal that you now have a direct line to your psychic gifts. Beautiful. So you might get some sort of like intuitive guidance. What's being revealed to you might not be in the physical. It could literally be something that like spirit, divine source, or that inner knowing, or you finally piece something together through your psychic gifts, getting a vision or a dream, or maybe you hear a message through your clairaudience, or I think I said vision. You could be getting something just through one of your psychic gifts. You recognize the difference between your intuitive voice, which is calm and assured, and your lower emotional compulsions, which are urgent and sometimes fear-based. Let yourself gain greater control over emotions now. What I'm getting for some of you is that you're literally going to be realizing that some of the guidance that you were listening to in the past was in fact self-sabotaging thoughts of fear, which was kind of protecting like emotional wounds that you had. I think some of you were mistaken. Some of these thoughts, feelings, maybe even visions, because sometimes you can create visions for yourself when you're in a very creative energy, when you're thinking a lot. Sorry, I said kitty. When you're thinking a lot of things, you can start to visualize them, and you can very much bring about things that that aren't real, your fears, your phobias. I'm getting very much that somebody's I'm getting very much that somebody is getting some sort of clarity that they were letting their fears, their doubts kind of create illusions that weren't really there. I know that sounds like I don't want to make somebody sound like they're saying they're crazy or whatever, because it's not really that. It's just somebody was kind of just letting their fears, their strong emotions and feelings kind of hold them. And with all the spell work that's been going on, the psychic attacks and all of that, they can be very believable. For some of you, it just could have been that, but they're bringing this card out to in fact show you that somebody was getting some wrong guidance, okay? And it's like somebody's going to be aware very much of the psychic gifts that they have, and they're going to really be able to distinguish their psychic gifts, their inner voice, inner knowing, opposed to what may have been getting projected there, whether by their fear or doubt or spell work that was done. And some of this stuff can, in fact, people can impose fear and things like that and make you project these things upon yourself, right? But I'm getting very much so, for some of you, like, that's the clarity that you're getting, that some of these illusions, these things weren't real. So it's going to allow you to see people in a different light. Or maybe you could be getting revealed to you who's projecting this stuff on you. A lot of deep emotional trauma bonds and healing were closed out with this eclipse cycle, so that could be a factor. What's interesting is next to that we had fated meeting. This card can show about a fated meeting with another regarding a work situation, a creative project, or an important purpose that you hold. This too is likely karmic. Perhaps it's a past life, spiritual teacher. For some of you, it was like timing. Something was being held back from you so you wouldn't miss it because you were seeing something in the wrong light. So be aware of what you're feeling at this time, because something is coming about, something that's fated, something that's meant to happen and is in alignment with your divine life path and purpose. And sometimes you just simply needed to have something released that was impacting this. Maybe you're going to in fact see that somebody was leading you away from this fated opportunity, whether this is in love, friendship, or career, or all of those things. So the Six of Forces follows that. Element of water. Like the waterfall, your personal energy never stops. Your life force is never it's time of deep thought and even deeper emotion. So this is something that's definitely going to impact you on a deep emotional level, as well as an expansion of psychic energy. You guys are getting 2 cards now that are talking about heightened psychic gifts and awareness. You guys could definitely be getting a lot of these like spiritual inheritances now, which is very beautiful. Because a lot of you have a lot of very beautiful psychic gifts and talents that you weren't using because you were kind of closed off to the spiritual world and you were focused on your career path in this 3D matrix, where you may have been led away from some of these beautiful gifts and abilities and talents you have. So a lot of you could be accessing these at this time. This major shift of energy into Christ consciousness is a big factor too. So that's very beautiful. I love seeing that. Following that is the 2 of Keys. It talks about a treasure, see? A lot of you, this is just like some beautiful gift, and it's going to turn to something to be very beneficial for you. So the 2 of Keys talks about a loss or a disappointment in your life right now, because something often has to be eclipsed out, let go for something new, right? So for some of you, it could be loss of a job, a relationship, or even opportunity. Oh my goodness. But remember that this phase is temporary. It might take some time and effort to rally your forces to rediscover, but there is a great treasure within you that was always available. See, I just think you weren't seeing it before. Maybe you had some sort of energy that was imposing this fear, this doubt, saying that, like, you're not good enough, or maybe, oh my gosh. Sorry, guys. I've got a little kitten, and I forgot how much they're like little towers. What was I saying? That, you might have had somebody saying things to you like, that's not a good career path for you, or you're not going to be able to support yourself or your family, or something like that. Stop. And was kind of leading you away from it. So you could have been focusing on like saying there's something wrong with you. When you're focusing on what's wrong or what's lacking, it perpetuates a sense of emptiness and victimization. So don't let yourself get lost in loss. Open the slit on light and let it illuminate your way. Wow. There's definitely something very beautiful that you're going to be finding out. Queen of Keys follows that. You are full of it this morning. See, here's my little kitty. See, I forgot kittens, they like to sleep through the night. Well, this one does anyway. It sleeps in my bed. So it's like wide awake. It just got up with me too. So no, it's very playful. And it got him back here with me because all my kids are still sleeping. We're waking all of them up. Alright, so this card represents a woman of authority. She is sensitive, helpful, and thoughtful. She is confident in her authority, but always happy to celebrate the success of others. She could be a love interest for you or someone in your life. Or, you know, could represent you as well. She's a positive woman. Business's card represents you or another who is about to climb the ladder of success. Ooh, look at that. A position in banking, investments, real estate, or management may be coming. Self-employment or any industry could be at hand, but a greater financial independence, increased authority, and creative autonomy at work, anatomy at work. So beautiful. Okay. Taking out when the Queen of Keys appears in the same spread. They're facing each other. It's a deeply profound relationship in love and business of great value. It's interesting because I told you at the beginning of the reading that I had seen the King and Queen of Forces. So I felt to read that side note there, right? Because following it's the Four of Forces. Oh my goodness, don't go up there. If it comes across my computer. No, stop it. I need to get some cat toys. Psst. He likes to get over here and then climb across my computer, so I don't want him to knock off my video. Can't play this. Okay, where's again the Four of Forces? This could be a very creative period for you. And that's the biggest energy I was getting with this eclipse too. Every oracle deck was coming out with like the creative card. Creative, inspiration. This is a very powerful time to definitely be creating something at this time. Take action in creative projects and work-related endeavors that require or need time of attention. The work you do now could yield some great rewards later. Make sure you engage in this extra activity with joy and optimism. You're always planting your energy into the Akashic records of life and work towards your goals. Remember, plant hope and happiness along the way with every action you take. Beautiful. So the winged messenger that came out along with this talks about something being revealed with the Queen of Scrolls here. A woman of a higher mind who may already know or have yet to meet. This purpose is helping move through an entryway to a new level of wisdom and understanding. Definitely, you guys are getting like definitely something revealed, some sort of wisdom, which wisdom talks about getting something divinely, given to you, something that like a download or some sort of enlightenment through your psychic gifts. Definitely. I mean, her third eye is shining. See that? This is a very spiritual card for me. And this talks about third eye activation and awakening. It's like right there. I'm so waiting for him to pounce my laptop. See, now I just fell. Stop it. He just knocked all my papers down. Okay. So you're definitely. Maybe this is a sign for a message. You're about to have just something like jump into your life. I don't know. He's back behind. Okay, Queen of Scrolls. I'm trying to focus. Maybe you're going to be getting distracted. She's holding the scroll there. To me, scrolls represent contracts and things like that too. You could be getting something revealed to you of like a hidden contract. Ooh, yeah. That's for somebody, because I was getting that last night in this reading. There was stuff hidden. Some sort of contract, some truth about a family, something getting revealed. For some of you, there's like hidden inheritances. Now, this can talk about like spiritual inheritances too, because you may find out that maybe somebody within your family had some sort of gifts or something, and you're able to access or assess those gifts too. But it took learning, because sometimes it's like when you get revealed that a family member or something of yours in your bloodlines had a type of career path or a skill set, then you start to develop that too, because you realize it's within your bloodlines, and you have that talent and skill set too. Maybe this is something you never thought about doing, right? So you can very much tap right into that. It's like, already having that wisdom, just able to assess it, and then all of a sudden it could be a whole new career path for you. But for some of you, like maybe your family had left you something, because this is like stuff being hidden, and I told you something's going to be revealed to you. There's something here. Maybe you guys are feeling called to take a look at that reading that I did last night. It should be right next to this when I upload it, because if you go down to my channel, what's it called here? The War of the Roses, the 1111 Gateway Portal is that one. See, this has to do with home or family. Listen, this card indicates a small conflict in your home or family. It could involve you or another, or others in the extended family. This could be about money issues about the home, an inheritance, or personal finances. See, and I didn't even remember, the meanings of this card. I haven't used the Akashic Tarot in a while, but I felt guided to it last night. And I didn't know about the inheritances until I read the card. And I was feeling that right away before I remembered. So, for some of you, there very much is. You may feel compelled to be the peacemaker or the provider in the situation. Let yourself do as your spirit guides you. The hawk or the predator shows that there are times when you might have a tendency to be pulled into the fray yourself. With the hawk entering from the right, it certainly indicates that more challenges may be coming your way. Happily, your spirit is high above the challenge. Remember, I saw like my kitty was like wanting to like pounce, and if it would have pounced on my laptop, it would have blocked my video. It would have, distracted me. It would have caused a delay. I might not have been able to upload this video, or I might not have if it paused it and I didn't get it finished or something like that. But it didn't, because I could see it before it happened, right? And I was watching him, and I was guarding the computer. And I was talking about this in the reading last night, that you're fully going to see the challenges that are coming before, in fact, they do. And you're going to be aware of them before they do, and you're going to be able to block them out. So just be aware, right? And this could be a feeling. Your spirit guides and angels and ancestors, I'm getting, are very strongly with you. I'm looking a lot at the house, too. Could definitely be something to do with your house, home, something to do, I already told you in this card, home, family, but I went right to the home here. So, for some of you, it's something to do with the home, right? But you're fully going to be aware of it, and you're going to be able to protect it, block it out, something like that. They're going to give you the guidance, so pay attention to what you're feeling. Like maybe if you're feeling a feeling like, don't leave, stay home today, listen to that. Or you have a feeling to go somewhere, like, I need to go. Just pay attention to what you feel, what you're thinking, right? Or maybe there's something getting revealed about a home, inheritance revolving a home too. I'm getting a bunch of different messages here. Take it however you feel fitting. Remember, something about being strategic, right? Or somebody's being, what's interesting is there's 2 3s here. 3 of Scrolls follows that. That's coming together with somebody, and that was in the reading last night too. And I was getting it around court and legalities, and I was thinking this coming together could be like a lawyer or a judge or something like that. It could be anybody. It could be coming together in a work. They're looking like to me at a contract, and somebody's like investigating or looking at something off at a distance. Somebody is definitely researching or looking at something. And somebody's needing to be strategic. And I've always seen the chess as like court, things like that. But let's see what the 3 of Keys is about. The people around you are serving their own agendas. Try to detach, be objective, and treat everyone involved from a deeper source of wisdom without being misled. See, for some of you, this is dealing with your family members and friends. Close circle. And we don't often like to think that those people are deceiving us or don't have our best interest at heart here and things like that. But you'd be surprised what this the devil dispatches his devil agents, right? Especially at times of spiritual warfare. And the devil agents can get into your close family and friends and really manipulate and control them. And sometimes it's not even like it's them. Sometimes it's just like they're entities, and so that can allow you to fully not have that anger, hurt, or like, how could you do this to me? Because for some of them, it's like they're literally being mind controlled. And something that was significant for me is even your own children can get used against you. And this is how I got confirmation very much, is I got that feeling. I was like, this isn't my daughter talking to me right now. I was like, the things that she is saying, it's got to be an entity, because she wouldn't talk to me that way, right? Because she was in the heat of the moment. She's very upset. I was listening to her, and I was like, this can't be her, right? And then I was like, well, no, she's pretty mad at me. But then all of a sudden, she started to use phrases and words and sayings that I have never heard her say. And also, she's a millennial, and nobody uses those type of terminologies and things like that anymore. And so I was, you know what I mean? So, like, it was almost like it was very old, like outdated type of phrases. And when she was using I was like, why would she refer to that type of saying and phrase? She doesn't talk that way. And I was like, oh my gosh, because it's really not her. Is this like, a spirit guide or like, an ancestor or something, not divine light, that is leading her, or just, some sort of energy, because, you're often surrounded by your past loved ones, and your ancestors, and you do have some that are not in divine light, ones that haven't crossed over, and they can be in that dark energy, right? And people get very vulnerable sometimes, and if anybody has any type of emotional wound or trauma or heartache, you put yourself vulnerable to getting taken over and mind control and things like that, right? So I was kind of feeling like somebody else was talking to me, somebody else, in fact, that maybe had some anger towards me from, like, I'm going to give you an example. Like, I don't even know if this is the right person or not, but the way that I was getting was old-fashioned terminology, and it was trying to get in the way between me and my connection with my twin, right? And I know that the devil has been dispatching a lot of agents to go against the twins, right? And to try to tear them down. And the way that she was coming at me so much about my twin, right? And I'm fully aware that we're under attack, right? That our family and all that's getting into it. But it was almost like it was the way that she was coming at me with things and talking in this light of trying to get me to go against my twin. And it wasn't her, and it was this old-fashioned talking or whatever. I kind of felt like it was like her grandfather was talking to me, because she had lost her grandfather, her father's father, right? And I know that he was struggling and in a very, going through some trauma before he had passed away. And sometimes when those people are in situations like that, they're not ready to cross over. They have unfinished business. They have things where they protect their family and their loved ones, because that's kind of what you do. A lot of your angels and your spirit guides and stuff are your past loved ones. But if they're in an energy where they are not of love and light, the light doesn't, I feel, open for them. So part of being able for it to be opened and get that chance to cross over is that they get to help guide you, because your karma that you get in your life, it'll go down upon your kids and your kids' kids. So it's kind of like everybody is kind of, leave my plants. Everybody kind of like can be at fault for it within the bloodlines, and that's why a lot of us are here breaking up these curses, as we call them, and karmic debts within our family bloodlines. So the light can open and all of our ancestors can cross over, and they're not indebted to this where they don't get to cross over because they're kind of at fault if it's something that was in fact carried down, right? And it's like my daughter's father had emotional wounds and trauma bonds due to, abandonment issues because he was abandoned by his father. So he abandoned his daughter, I feel, which then left the same type of wounds for her. So you see what I mean? How it's not even like they did something outright awful, intentionally. It was just those trauma bonds. And I don't know the story upon that as if, her grandfather had the same type of trauma bond, and it just went within the bloodlines, right? But it was kind of like, so he's there helping protect, but sometimes if they're not being led and guided, right, and if the devil's got control and can manipulate, it's like, say, her spirit guide that she was connecting with, her grandfather was being controlled by a devil and projecting these energies, towards her, but to come at me because it's wanting to tear my union down and trying to lead me to get back together with her father, because that's, think about it, that, to hit, in a way, he might think that would in fact cure the karma, right? If he could get me to go back with her father and us be whole and be a family, then she wouldn't have that emotional trauma bond that could be imposed on her from him that was carried over from her father. See how it goes on the bloodlines. And then if that could be healed, then that could in fact heal him and open the light up. See what I mean? So sometimes we get led the wrong way just by our spirit, and it sometimes they're struggling too. I mean, we're all here on these life lessons, and sometimes we can get stuck between worlds. I mean, I don't know how fast you could reincarnate and come back and serve more lessons. There's definitely a waiting time. I know that. It doesn't just all of a sudden you pass away, you get to come back, serve another karmic lesson. You also have to help your offsprings, your families and things like that. And then if you can't help that, it's a blessing to be here. Everybody needs to realize that everybody here at this time, it's such a beautiful thing. We're shifting this world, this consciousness, right? We're closing out these karmic cycles and patterns. This is a very beautiful time to get to be here at this time. It really is. But see, because the love and the vibrations are rising, so is this double energy, right? And I feel some people don't even realize they're embodying it, and especially our young ones, right? Because especially, like, I've taught my kids to be very open to their spirituality, to their guides, to their angels. But see, I don't think I've always told them when you're talking to past loved ones, you need to say of divine light. So that when you're connecting with them, they're getting their guidance from the light, from the angels, from God, divine source, and not from the dark energies. And unfortunately, I feel like because me and my twin, because I'm now with my twin and we've been together for a year trying to come into union, because we have been together but not in union because we're not in that same vibrational frequency. So when we get these attacks and things like that, he can very quickly go to the dark devil energy. And I had the same thing. I was getting controlled by spell work, and I went to a dark place for a little while, and because I did, he did, and we've been battling back and forth with attacks spiritually, attacks physically within our family, and it's taken a lot to forgive and let go and to find this balance. And I totally get, we've had like everybody going after us, and it's very hard because it's your family, right? And especially we both come from, families that have had some traumas, so our family can be easily manipulated. So it's not that our family is toxic or bad, it's just these trauma bonds, because they're not healed. It's so hard that the devil takes advantage, right? And a lot of the trauma bonds that can be taken over, in fact, are people that just have jealousy and envy. See, that's devil energy, and people don't realize it. When you're envious, and you might not even realize you're being envious sometimes, because sometimes it's not really always about the physical. People think when you say, oh, somebody's envious of me, somebody wants the house or the car that I have or whatever. No, it's not always that. Because you can be envious of just a happy family, a family that's not broken. You know, I mean, I know I was envious of the happy family. I remember when I was younger, I was always envious of just the families that got to go on fun family vacations, you know, because my family was broken, or we didn't get to go off and do all of that as a family, or even like family reunions. I would get jealous and envious of my friends, like, gosh, I always wanted a family reunion. You know, I didn't get to grow up with my extended family around me because of all the trauma. So little things like that I realized that I started to be envious of, right? So sometimes it was just connections, or if people see two people so much in love, but they're with the karmic, and so they're constantly going back and forth with the karmic lessons they're supposed to teach each other, and they can't find that balance. They can be jealous of your connection. And sometimes siblings, that rivalry, they don't want, because normally the older sibling wants to be the one that gets to do things first, right? Gets to be married first, buy their first home and car. So when they see their younger sibling, you know, getting the car or the home before them, it's that envy competition thing that never should have been about, right? And especially for the family members that are like black sheeps that go outside the matrix but find their way quicker than the ones that do, because that's often how it goes, because this matrix is flawed, right? Then everybody's like, well, that's not fair. You didn't go to college. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. Why are you making it for yourself? Why do you have a better car, house than me? Why don't you look like you're struggling? Nobody really sees all of the work that's being done within. Nobody really knows, right? And the person that often learns their lessons first and does the most healing from inner wounds and trauma, and heals themselves more, ascends more, and goes to those higher vibrational paradigms, so they get the opportunities and the money and the abundance and things like that quicker. And it's really all about spiritual evolution. It's not really about climbing the 3D matrix and the ladder. It's really not at all. It's about that spiritual. And it's often the ones that feel neglected and abandoned that go outside the matrix anyways, right? But I won't get too far into that. So anyway, you see what I mean? How a lot of this jealous and this envy and this greed, it's all because the matrix is broken. So it's not fair, right? So it's not even like you could be mad that they have jealousy, that, you know, and whenever you have jealousy and envy, it's devil energy, because you're vibrating from your lower vibrational chakras. And that's what the devil controls. When you're in your higher vibrational chakras, you're not. So that's why spirituality, the ones that are very spiritual, often are in these higher vibrational energies anyways. And they're the ones that are being led and guided by divine, source, God, right? And the others are not. But religion, like I said, some that are in that 3D matrix, and they go to church every single Sunday, and they do all of this, and they do all of that. They think, I'm very, very spiritual. You don't go to church at all. Well, you don't really, just like people say, Crystal, you never been to church and all of this stuff, like, you're not spiritual. Like, I work with God and divine source every single day. I always have. I've always been led and guided by God, source, divine, because I knew that God was within me. I never separated myself from God. I didn't conform to the 3D matrix to believe that I have to pray away to God. I didn't get conformed to knowing that I have to go to church to talk to God, to be in a church. I didn't never pray away. I didn't never separate myself from God. I always knew God was within me. I always knew God's source divine. We are all one. We are always co-creating with God. And our matrix has taught us to separate ourselves because they didn't want us to have our spirituality. Because when they separated ourselves from God, then we went in these lower vibrational energies. Then we were being controlled by this 3D matrix, by money, material, and the devil. Yeah, that's like the big reveal. Well, I'm not going to get too much into that, so this video uploads, as I feel is very, very powerful. So, guys, that's, wow. All right, they took over the reading. But it's very beautiful how they took it over and they made it fit perfectly. But what I was getting at, is a lot of these family members, they don't even realize that they're being jealous or envy, and see it, and they think they're telling you the right things. And sometimes these family members, they'll be telling you, like, well, you need to go to college, you need to do this, because they're trying to help you and trying to lead you down what they know to be the correct pathway. And in fact, it's not. And for you, and if they're vibrating on this energy of envy because they're secretly jealous, and they might not even realize that they are. Some of them are jealous too if maybe you're the younger one and you don't have your children yet, and you still have this freedom to completely change your career path and make your dreams come true. Because some of them feel as though they missed their chance at their dreams and they're tied down now. Some people, in fact, know that they've had children with the wrong people. That wasn't their love of their lives, and they're having to battle in karmic situations, and you can always get out of those, right? You don't have to be together with somebody to raise your children. That's finally what I realized is I stayed in relationships for a very long time for my kids. When I finally realized that I was limiting my potential and the love that I had for myself. I thought I was giving it all to my kids, but when I wasn't full and complete, I couldn't give them as much love as I could if I was full and complete, right? And that I had to heal myself to make me better for them, which then in fact makes them better. And it's very energetically beneficial for everybody to go after your dreams, because you limit yourself when you're not pursuing your life path, purpose, mission, what you desire. You vibrate at a lower frequency, so that lowers everything that you can attract. Situations, experiences, money, all of that. Really, see? So when you're pursuing your heart's desire and your dreams, you raise your vibration, so that opens up new doors and opportunities for your children, more money, more just everything. And that's why love and money do go together very much, because when you are vibrating in a frequency of love, you're attracting everything on all levels. Money, abundance, all of that. That's why these divines, you always see like all this abundance. And it's because it's just you attract it, right? It's very beautiful. See, a lot of us, we get focused on this mentality of lack, and then we get stuck in them, and then bills and all of that, and unexpected things happen. It's like you could be set and have a savings account and everything, but then all of a sudden you find something out, like your child needs braces, right? Or your car, a big couple $1,000, but then immediately you're just like, oh gosh, okay, this is unexpected. Now I got to be down $10,000 for braces or $3,000 for the car. So that makes you think, like you see your bank account coming down. So then your mindset is to safeguard that a little bit. You're like, okay, well, I've got to put that money back, or I've got to find a way to. So you could even have a big amount in your savings account, but because you just hit a big hit, it brings you down, And then you start to see it going down, and then you start to get that mindset that you're losing your money, and then you really are starting to, because you're thinking that, and it's so daunting, this 3D matrix. It really is. It's life, right? And that's why we are breaking this matrix, this 5D Christ consciousness. We very much are. So you guys need to know. That's what I mean. It's such a beautiful time, because this matrix is coming down, and things are going to be restored the right way, the way it should have always been. It's time. Earth is telling us that these DNA activations, these energetic portals and gateways, they're about bringing us back. They very much are. It's been encoded. They've been hiding it. These things are meant to happen at this time. This is Age of Aquarius. And this is a time when everybody's meant to wake up, realizing how powerful they are. And not just the black sheep. So, I mean, we're very much setting the path and setting these awakenings, these activations, right? But it's going to be a chain reaction. It very much is. Wow, my gosh, this is such a beautiful reading. So guys, definitely feel free to like, share, subscribe. A lot of people need to see this, right? Even if this is not a personal situation that you found within the Akashic Tarot, they gave me a lot of channeled messages of enlightenment and guidance to help everybody, right? That's why I know that all my readings are very much timeless and guided for whoever finds them, right? But for a lot of you, you were guided for this reading. Take whatever you feel is a message for you. Did I explain the 3 of Keys? Yeah, the people around you are serving their own agendas. See, there may come a time for you to leave or distance yourself from the situation, but because of circumstances, it may not be here yet. For now, let yourself be a knowing observer and watch. Like I said, for some of you, you have to be strategic. You can't move yet. You have to watch. And I was talking about this last night in the reading. I was saying for some of you, you just need to be complacent at this time. You need to work on yourself. A lot of you, you've already had situations that have recently happened with this eclipse that may have already happened, some situations that may have already been pulled away from you and causing major changes. But you have to assess and kind of just absorb what happened. Focus on you in the now. Focus on taking each day at a time, because more things are coming. Like they were showing with this wing tear. And you're going to be able to overcome these challenges or obstacles that come your way. But they're going to take strategizing and working around them. Like here's the example I gave last night. For some of you, maybe your living situation is going to change, right? A contract's going to be up, or something to do with your home, right? So, but maybe you had an unexpected an unexpected situation arise, like I was saying, like with the child needing braces, I'm just using that as an example, or something like that. So you're like, well, I want to pick up another job or something like that. So if you stress yourself out and go pursue all of that right now and then start this new job, but then you find out you have to move, and now you just put all this work and energy and time into starting up a new job that you're not going to be able to keep because you're in fact getting ready to relocate. You see how it's counterproductive. And that's why you're being called to just assess things, because it could be little things like that. For some of you, you could be finding out you're getting inherited a house very far away. So you're going to completely be moving and all of that. So you have things to figure out, move around, right? So like I said, you're going to be able to overcome. I'm very much, it's just interesting because, you know, I see the teacups here, which getting the tea represents getting the truth, right? You're going to be getting the truth about something. But what's interesting is I see furniture here out in the yard. So to me, that's like moving. You often see moving. People put furniture outside before the moving truck comes or whatever. But it's like old, antique-looking furniture to me, right? And then I do see a broken teacup. I'm getting strongly that there's going to be something that's going to be broken, that's not going to be able to be repaired. For some of you, this could be a connection, right? Somebody could have done something to hurt you so much, or hid something. Okay, and then there's 2 scrolls. This bird is holding a scroll too. Some sort of news is coming in, or contract, or something is coming in here. But this bird is already holding one, and the angels are guiding that bird. There's a big angel right behind that bird, see it? There's definitely news and contracts and things coming in, but the divine is guiding you, so you do have divine guidance and protection. Just remember to ask for your spirit guides from divine light, for the ones that may be getting misled and guided by spirits that could be getting controlled by devil energy. And like I said, they might not even be realizing in fact that they are. And sometimes it's just they're giving guidance, but it's not the right guidance for you because it's not from the divine, right? The divine is giving you guidance from your blueprint, your path. Sometimes these family members are trying to help, but they don't know what in fact is destined for you. They can't fully see your Akashic records of where you've been, what you've attained, what you've learned, what you have coming. They can't assess your blueprints of your life, what you set out for yourself, can they? No. So, like I said, I don't think some of them are even realizing that they're leading you the wrong way. So call in the divine light. Give everybody compassion at this time because there's a lot of devil energies. And for some of you, it's like if they're fully controlled and not going to say otherwise and just going to be creating blocks for you, you might have to let them go and distance yourself from them so you can move forward so they're not creating these blocks. And Source, Divine Spirit, they could have already removed some of these blockages, in fact, for you. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to leave the reading here. That's what I had for you. Definitely sending love and light to all of you. Love you guys. Bye.